Well, hello everybody and welcome to the class once again. Last time in our class we were doing kanji. We were learning about kanji, how it has come into being, how it came into Japan and how it is used. What are the different ways you can understand kanji, you can look up a kanji dictionary and lot of other things. What are the readings, what is the stroke order of kanji. So, well, we will continue with this in this lesson also, because we were unable to complete what we were doing last time. A big chunk is still left, so we will try to do that. I hope by going through this, by learning this and doing this class, your kanji concepts are a little clear. Though this class is not about kanji, this is not about learning kanji and writing kanji, it is just to explain to you what kanji is and how to look up a kanji dictionary. So, well, we were doing last time in our class, we did what is stroke order, what is onyomi, what is kunyomi, as you can see over here. Onyomi and kunyomi, a quick recap: onyomi and kunyomi. Well, onyomi is what the reading is from China, the Chinese reading, and kunyomi is reading of the country, that is the Japanese reading. Most of the time for characters, as I told you last time as well, the kunyomi is used for single kanji characters, and when you write 2 or 3 kanji characters, you join characters, then onyomi is used. There are a few characters here you can see. There is hito over here, and hito, if read like this as a single character, is hito, and if it is read with another character, for example, then it is read as jin, as nihon jin, which you have already done. You know the word and now you can see how it is written. Then there is another character which is given over here, which is, tell me what is this character? Can you tell me? We have done this a number of times, we have practiced it also. What is it? Well, this is oki, o ki e. Please remember, there is a double O and there is a double I. Now, this double I over here, when you write in Roman, it looks like a double I, but it is actually ki over here and E like this. This ki is a syllable, as you already know. Now, we also did stroke order last time. Kanjis can be categorized in groups by stroke order. For example, you have kanjis like ni, you have kanjis like ju, you have kanji characters like shichi, also q. So, these are all 2 stroke characters and you can group them very nicely. Also, you have done 3 stroke characters like do, doyobi no do. You have done kuchi, you have done ue. So, these are 3 stroke characters and again you can put them together in a group. you can see there are other characters as well over here. There is Tsuki, and if you count 2, 3 and 4. So, it is a 4 stroke character. You have another character 1, 2, 3 and 4. You all know this is Nichi, this is again a 4 stroke character. Then you have this character which is Mizu, which is a 4 stroke character. Please remember this is 1 and this is a single stroke 2, 3 and 4. So, it is a 4 stroke character. You can again group it in a single set. So, well, kanjis can also be grouped by stroke order, and as I told you, there are about 23 strokes sometimes in a character. So, you can actually go up from 1 till 23. So, you can have these groups and you can look up the dictionary and see by stroke order. Then you can also see by readings. I had told you, if you remember, for example, there are these 2 characters given over here, he and he. He like this and he. This means fire and this means day, but the reading is the same. So, you can group it in 1, and there are so many others like this. These are the ones you have done. So, I am trying to cover all the simple kanjis that you have done. Then there is another one, similar sounding character, similar reading, Q, which you did just now, 1 and 2, and then you have Kuchi, which is also Ku, and also you have Sei over here and Sei. This means to be born or give birth to, and this means gender. So, well, these can again be grouped in a section. So, kanjis can be done by stroke order, kanjis can be done by readings, and also the most important is that kanjis can be done by radicals. Now, this is something new for you. What are radicals? What is this word radical? We have been doing these characters Nichi. We have done he, we have done ki, we have also done this small character. We have done in one of our kanjis, we have done this character. So, when you look at these characters, what does it mean? What does it show? These are called, all these are called radicals. Now, what does radical do? What is a radical? Well, a radical gives basic meaning to the character. For example, when you look at this character, this tells you that the kanji will have something to do with day, could be date, could be light, could be brightness. So, anything dealing with sun or with light will generally have this character in it. So, a kanji is formed with the help of radicals. Now, for example, if you look at this character, this is fire. This means fire, we all know that. Now, if there is something we want to say related to fire or heat or burning or roasting, frying, then this character will generally be there in the kanji, in the pictogram. So, this is how radicals are, and they tell you more about the kanji. As is given over here, you can see why are they important. Well, a radical is that part of a kanji character that tells about the origin of the character. where the character is coming from, what is the basic meaning of the character. So, when you look at a character and you see the kanji, you see the radical in it, you automatically know that okay, this is what the basic meaning is, this is the origin of this kanji character or pictogram. Now, radicals give basic meaning and expresses the general nature of the kanji characters. They give a basic meaning, a meaning to the kanji character. Then it also helps in understanding and locating the character in a dictionary. Now, when you look up a dictionary and you want to see a certain character A, how do you go about looking a dictionary in a dictionary? So, either it is by stroke order, by the reading of the character, or by the radical. So, these radicals are extremely important for kanjis, and to understand kanji characters, these radicals are important. Now, either a radical is a kanji itself. For example, you can see over here, these are all single kanjis also, these three over here. This is ki, as you know, this is fire, we just did, and this is nichi, which is sun. So, this is a kanji itself, and also a kanji will have a pictogram, will have this, any of these characters depending on what you want to say. Thus, radicals are important in the language in construction of kanji characters. Now, because we have so many kanjis, as you know, we have approximately about 2000 kanjis in the language, single kanji characters. Each kanji character will have minimum 2 readings because of onyomi and kunyomi. Now, not just the 2 readings, but a kanji character can also have maybe 3 or 4 readings. So, the combinations of these readings with each other make it really interesting also, and also a little difficult sometimes, because you have to remember so many words with kanjis. So, how will you look up those characters? How will you remember those characters? From these, with the help of these radicals. There are about 214 radicals, and they are divided into 7 groups. Well, they have meanings, the division is there, you do not have to learn all of it, it is not that important, because we are not doing kanji as such. We are just, this is just information, this is just for you to understand what kanji, what radicals are and how they are used in the language. So, now these radicals can be placed anywhere in the kanji character. Now, you would say what is this? How can you place the character anywhere you want? Well, that is the division. There are 7 places you can put these kanji characters. For example, if you have this square where you have to write a kanji, the kanji character can be on the left side of the character, and the character could be here. This would be the radical and this would be the kanji. So, the whole kanji would look like this, something over here. 1. Now, you would say, where is it that we have done this, this kind of a character? Well, you have done this. If you remember, we have done this. If you remember, we have done this character, if you remember. So, this is the radical over here, this is the radical over here, and this is how the whole character is made. Now, we could also have the radical somewhere else. Now, where could that be? Well, it could also be on this side of the kanji character. Now, which one would that be? You have done the word, but you have not done the character. Well, it is ningyo, ningyo. So, this is the radical. So, it could also be on the right side as well. Now, it could also be on top of the character. Now, which character is that one? Can you tell me? You have done this character and you know the word. Let me see if you can figure it out. Well, the character is densha. See over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13 like this, 13. So, well, this is another on top, another radical on top. So, you can have the radical over here as well. Now, you can also have the radical here. I think we have done the verb. Let me see if you remember it. Do you? Well, I will tell you, it is omou. Do you remember doing this? This is the field, Tanaka-san no ta, and then and 4. This is over here like this, and incidentally this, though we have not done, you know the word, this is kokoro, meaning heart, kokoro. Okay? This is a simple one, so you can just remember it like that. Then also we said 7 over here, 7. So, we have done how many? 1, 2, 3 and 4. We still need to do 3 more. Let us see what are those. Well, you could also have the character inside a box, something over here. And what is the character that you have done? Well, this is kuni. Look at this one and this kuni, meaning kuni. So, you could also have it like this. You could also have it like this over here. There are lot of such divisions. If you remember doing the word niku, well, like this and like this. So, you need to make this first, 1, 2 and 3, niku. Niku means meat. You could also have the radical here in a kanji character. Now, what would that be? Well, 1, 2, 3 and hiroi, that is spacious. You can also have the character in this place. Now, what is the word that we have done with this? We have done tomo dachi, tomo, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Tomo and dachi. This is the character that we were talking about in the beginning. This is how it will come. Now, what is the meaning of this character? This means passing through, going through. So, when you look at a kanji character, you are very sure that the meaning could be from this. Now, all these are listed over here for you to go over and revise. All the characters that we have done here have been covered in class, and there are more kanji characters which you can see for top, which is hana, for pun again over here, which is minutes, and for sen, sensei no sen, or saki or ahead, you can see these characters over here. So, well, this is about radicals, this is about just to give you a small idea as to what radicals are. I am sure by now you are a little comfortable with radicals and what it means, how it is written. There are different names of course for these radicals, and as you can see there are about 214 radicals divided into 7 sections, 7 groups, and I just now told you where all the radical can be in a kanji. Why these are important? That also you know. Simple kanjis can be shown very nicely, it can be understood, but when you start to show an idea, when it becomes abstract, then joining kanjis is very important. You have to join a number of characters and make one character out of it, and that is when the radical is very, very helpful, that where exactly it is coming from and what is the meaning of the character. Now, you would say why it is important to learn kanji. What is the big thing about kanji and why can't we sort of remove kanji completely and do just hiragana? Why kanji when it is so difficult and when some people may not find it very interesting? Well, if you understand kanji, then if you understand radicals, you understand kanji, you learn it properly, you study it properly, then it is not as difficult as it seems. You can talk to people, you can communicate with people easily if you know kanjis. For example, if you know that this is kuchi, it looks like a mouth, it is kuchi, you understand what it is. So, the moment you see kuchi and if you know the meaning of this character, which means to enter, even if you do not know the word that entrance is something in Japanese, you see this written somewhere, you will automatically understand that this means entrance. And in a similar way, if you know the meaning of this character, which is demas, to go out, and of course, we know the meaning of this one, which is mouth or entrance or a hole or a cave, then you know that this means it is exit. So, in such cases it is very, very interesting how kanjis can be useful and helpful. You can also talk to the Chinese people, knowing a few kanjis, you can inquire about exit and you can inquire about these entrance, all these kind of things, and talk to them. For example, if you know this character hito, which is person, and you know this is one. So, if you see something written like this, for example, only one person is allowed and something like this is written, then you know only one person can go in or can do this work. Such places kanjis are helpful. Then also, now you know the meaning of this, you know the meaning of this. What does this mean? Can you tell me, all of you? Just think about it for a few minutes and let me see. What do you have to say about this? This is person and this is mouth, kuchi. What could it be? Well, very simple, people and mouth. So many mouths to feed, that is jinko, which is population. So, this is how kanji is helpful. It is interesting and nice to learn as well. Another character which is given over there also is kawa, which is a river, as you already know, and again kuchi. So, when you see this written, of course, the reading is Kawaguchi for a name, but when you see this written, what comes to your mind? Well, you can easily say that this is mouth of a river, the source of the river, where it is coming from. So, this way kanjis are quite interesting. Now, we have done enough kanji. I think we have learnt a lot of things in our 40 lectures. This is our last lecture, and it has been a wonderful experience teaching all of you, communicating with all of you, doing a lot of things that I had promised I will do, and I hope that all of you have really enjoyed the classes. You have learnt a lot and you have gained more confidence after doing these lectures. You can talk more freely with the Japanese, not only in a given situation, not only by learning just these dialogues, but also by learning the language. You are able to talk, you are able to converse freely, you feel you can use expressions, you can use all that we have done in our classes and have enjoyed as much as I have. So, well, before finishing, there is something very small here for you. There is a small aisatsu no uta. Aisatsu is greetings, uta is songs. There is a small song over here, and with the help of this song, we will do some expressions. You have covered some and we will do some over here. We will revise them once again. The uta is very sweet. You can just listen to it. It is on the net. It is aisatsu no uta, and it is very interesting, done very nicely. You have animal characters over there, and with the help of those characters, we learn expressions. So, well, listen to this uta carefully, and then I will do all the expressions once again with you. So, well, how was the song? I hope you enjoyed it and you could catch a few phrases, a few expressions there. The first one that came up was, tell me what it was. Well, what does it look like? It is 6 o'clock, 6時ですから何でしょう? Well, おはようございますですね。はい。起きてからおはようございますと言います。そして寝る前に何と言いますか？みんなおやすみなさいと言います。おやすみ before going to bed means good night. おやすみなさい。Oyasumi nasai. Only oyasumi is given, which is informal. It is oyasumi nasai. Then the third one was konnichiwa. Konnichiwa is to be used during the day after 10 o'clock till probably 5 o'clock in the evening, konnichiwa, or 6 o'clock in the evening, depending on whether it is winter or summer. Konnichiwa means good day, and you can see both of them say konnichiwa. Tanaka-san as well as Mariko-san, she is having ice cream, so well, konnichiwa. Then in the evening, as you can see, there are stars over here, konbanwa. Once it gets dark, then it is konbanwa. And please see the way you bend, the way you bow when you say konnichiwa to someone who is a little older to you or senior in rank and position. Not only for konbanwa, it is also for ohayo gozaimasu and konnichiwa. So, you bend like this and then you do your aisatsu. Now, this is very cultural, and everywhere in Japan, anytime you leave house, well, you will say itte kimasu, I will go and come. And the person who is in the house, generally the wife, says itte irashai, please go quickly and come back. So, this is all over Japan. Of course, we do say a lot of things in English, but it is not a single phrase. So, well, this is a single phrase over here, itte irashai. And then when you return in the night, your wife is at home waiting for you, or your mother is at home waiting for you, you would say, I am back, which is tadaima. Tadaima, and it is a little high, tadaima, and then the person who is at home says okaeri nasai, as we have already done in our class. Then again, when you start to eat something, when you have your food, before eating food, you would say itadakimasu. Itadakimasu, that is, thank you God for all the food that you are giving me or have given me. All these phrases, please, are used all over Japan by everybody. So, it is not that one person is using and the other person is using something else in a similar situation. No, all the time same phrases are used in this situation. So, try to remember them and use them as much as you can. Itadakimasu. And then once you have eaten, you are through with your meals. Well, what do you say? Thank you God again for having given me this good food, and the phrase is gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita. Thank you very much for the good food. So, these are very important expressions, and you must use them, you must revise them they are interesting and they are very easy to learn, easy to use in all situations. Then a simple expression like thank you, which is arigato. Arigato, arigato, arigato. And then you also have domo arigato. Domo arigato. Now, this is a little polite, this is informal, and then the most polite of them all is domo arigato gozaimasu. So, well, when you are with your friends, you could just say domo also, you could say arigato. Then if you are in a formal situation, you haven't met the person, well, domo arigato. And in a very, very formal situation to people who are very senior to you, well, domo arigato gozaimasu. And because it is raining and he has a casa already, thus dozo. Dozo is please take, and actually dozo means permission given or permission granted. From the action that a person is performing, you can understand very clearly what the permission is about. Over here, dozo means please take the umbrella, and arigato is for thank you for giving me this umbrella. Then we have sayonara, of course, which all of you know, and sayonara is a formal final goodbye. So, people generally avoid using sayonara and they generally say mata aimashou, mata aimashou, or mata ne, which we have been doing in our lessons, or mata ashita, see you again tomorrow. Mata means again and ashita means tomorrow. So, see you again tomorrow. Then the uta says kino no yume no suzuki o mi ni iko. Kino is yesterday, yume is dream. Let us continue our dream. Let us go and see what is there for us in the dream. So, well, then again there is more in the uta in the song, and what is this? This is something new and we just did it very recently in one of our recent lessons. Hisashiburi ne, hisashiburi ne, hisashiburi ne, meaning seeing you after a very, very long time. Shibaraku ne, shibaraku ne. So, well, please remember this is both these mean exactly the same, sashiburi desu ne or shibaraku desu ne. And then we have one more over here, which is ogenki desu ka, are you in good health? I am seeing you after a long time. We are meeting after a long time, and this gentleman over here is asking, over here Tanaka-san is asking, or Rao-san is asking Tanaka-san, o genki desu ka, are you in good health? So, please remember about genki desu ka, something very interesting. You do not ask people whom you meet every day, genki desu ka, are you in good health? Why? Because you know that they are doing well, they are fine and they are keeping all right. So, when you meet someone after a long time, when you meet people after a long gap, that is when you ask o genki desu ka. Please do not do this, that asking people every day o genki desu ka. It is not considered very nice. Then how do you introduce yourself in Japanese? Well, this method of introduction is all over Japan. This is all that you say when you meet someone for the first time, not after a gap, that you meet someone after a month and again you start introducing yourself. No, you only introduce yourself in this particular manner first time when you meet someone. And what is that? Hajimemashite. Hajimemashite, and then yoroshiku. Hajimemashite, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Hajimemashite, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. So, this is only done first time when you meet someone. Informally, you can say hajimemashite and just yoroshiku. You do not have to repeat the whole phrase hajimemashite, yoroshiku, onegai shimasu. And both parties have to say exactly this, hajimemashite, yoroshiku, onegai shimasu over here, and hajimemashite, yoroshiku, onegai shimasu. Watashi wa Tanaka desu. Watashi wa Rao desu. So, that is how you would introduce yourself. Then, what do you do when you go to a Japanese house? What do you do? As you can see over here in this picture, this is the main entrance of the house. There is a small bonsai plant over here. The lady of the house is here and this gentleman has just entered, and there are slippers, and this is a small elevated portion where you have to step up and enter the house. So, what do you say and what do you do? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you will say ojama shimasu when you are entering the house, that I am intruding on your privacy, and then you remove your sandals. That is the first thing that you do over here. You remove your sandals over here, wear these sandals and then enter the house. That is extremely important. Why? Because the Japanese sit on floors, they sit on the floor, they eat on the floor, they sleep on the floor, and if you get dirty sandals or shoes inside, it dirties the floor and it is not clean. So, the best thing to do is to remove your shoes outside, wear separate sandals of the house and then walk in. So, what do you say over here? Ojama shimasu, as I just told you, that is the first expression, that is the first phrase that you will say when you enter someone's house or about to enter someone's house. Ojama shimasu. Jama means to be in the way, to disturb someone. So, jama shimasu, and o is honorific. Ojama shimasu. I am intruding on your privacy. And then what does the lady of the house say? You have done this expression, you have practiced it, says irashai. Dozo irashai. Dozo o angari kudasai is also used, meaning please dozo, please come inside. O angari, step up and come inside is also used. Irashai is a normal expression for welcome. And in the uta you have yokoso and oitoma shimasu. So, well, the girl is coming and the two lions over there say, nice to see you, welcome to our house. And oitoma shimasu, after having visited them, after having stayed with them, instead of saying ojama shimashita, which is again, I am sorry I have troubled you, now I am about to leave, ojama shimashita, verb in past tense, you say oitoma shimasu, meaning Oitomashimasu means I am leaving now, very, very polite. So, this is the song which has a lot of expressions. There are a lot of things, lot of expressions that we were unable to do, lot of things we were unable to do, but well, if you are able to manage this much, that is pretty good and you will feel very, very comfortable. This is the Aisatsu no uta. You can see Ohayo, Oyasumi, Konnichiwa, Konbanwa is given. Itte kimasu, itte irashai, tadaima, okaeri nasai, itadakimasu, gochiso sama, arigato, sayonara, kino no yume no suzuki o mi ni ikou. And then we have again repetition of the chorus. Gobusata hisashiburi, o genki desu ka? I haven't met you for a long time. O genki desu ka? Hajimemashite, yoroshiku, ojama shimasu. Irashai, youkoso, shitsurei shimashita. And dou itashimashite, oitoma shimasu. You have done shitsurei shimashita, meaning I will excuse myself. Now, and again you have the chorus over here. You can go over the uta again and again and memorize this one. It is interesting and cute. So, with this I will end our lectures today. It has been a wonderful experience being with you, telling you about Japan, about Japanese people, about how they live, how they interact. I had promised a lot of things. We have done a number of them. We were unable to cover a few, as it is not possible to do all in this short span of 40 minutes and 40 lectures. There is lots more to learn. We did how to tell name, how to tell time, date, day. If you go to a post office, how do you ask for stamps? If you go to a bank, what would you say? If you want to know what day it is or date it is, what would you do then? If you want to inquire about someone's date of birth, someone's birthday, how to give presents. Also, we have done a lot of verb forms. We have covered a number of verb forms and what to say in a situation. We have done all of that. For example, we have done the past form, the present form, the negative form, the past negative forms. We have done how to say collectively, let's do a certain thing. Then we have learned how to say, how to request, how to tell about present continuous, how to tell that I am not sure about a certain thing, how to tell about I think about a certain thing in this manner, how to tell about your doubts. We have how to tell that I have the ability, I can perform a certain activity. So, all those things we have done. I have also told you about proverbs, how to use these proverbs and these kotowaza in the language, what is the meaning of these kotowaza. Then we have also done expressions. We did a lot of expressions just now in this class as well. Then we have also done culture, where you have learnt about different festivals, about different things the Japanese do, interesting things the Japanese do. I hope that you will benefit from this class and you have enjoyed this journey and you will feel more comfortable in talking with the Japanese people. One thing before I part, I would like to tell you, do not hesitate to talk in Japanese. Even if you make a mistake, it does not matter. As you are learning a language, as you are doing something new, you are trying to speak a language which you are not comfortable in. So, please do not hesitate. Even when you are talking to native speakers, just go ahead and speak. And once you do that, that confidence is immense and it helps you speak better. So, all the best to all of you. I hope you enjoyed and hope that sometime in the future we might meet once again. Well, goodbye and thank you very much.